Hello lovelies and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be filming the what makes me pick up a book tag. The reason I have my iPad in my hands is because I have the prompts on here so I can read the prompts and obviously answer the questions for you guys. This tag was created by Charlotte over at Wonderfully Bookish, and I was tagged by Ashley to do this tag over at Read Now Sleep Later, so I will link their videos in the description below. There are 8 prompts for this tag that I will be talking about. I hope you enjoy it and let's get straight into it. So the first question is, do you judge a book by its cover? I can't lie, I do. I'm that type of person that if I've heard of the book or I recognise the name, I'll just pick it up and buy it. If I haven't heard of the book before, I will just look at the cover, and if the cover looks pretty to me, then I tend to just pick it up. Yeah, I know you shouldn't really judge a book by its cover, but I mean, I just do that. If I haven't got the book as a recommendation from someone or I haven't seen it on BookTube, I definitely judge it by its cover. That brings me on to the second prompt of focusing on the covers. What makes you pick it up? For me, it's bright colours. Anything that's bright or anything that has like galaxy kind of colours or a galaxy kind of vibe on it. So like, for example, Gemini has like space kind of vibes to it. And like the Shatter Me series covers, for example, the eyes and the different designs around the eyes, especially the Unravel Me covers, ironically they catch my eye, but because of the detail and the designs around the eyes. Any book like that, or again any book that's bright or it's pretty, not so much like flowers pretty, like colours pretty, I tend to pick it up and look at it more than I would with other books. The third prompt is, do you read the synopsis first or do you prefer to go into a book without any knowledge of it? If I'm going to pick up a book that's been recommended to me, or a book that I'm picking up because I've seen it on BookTube or Book Twitter and a lot of people are talking about it, I tend to not read the synopsis. It's quite bad, but I tend to go on what majority think of it and hype. So for example, I bought Crescent City. I'm pointing here because it's up there in a crate of books up there. I bought Crescent City purely because everyone was hyping about it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy it. I know nothing about the book. I don't know what happens in it. I don't know if it's a male or female character. I don't know anything about the book. I just picked it up because everyone was talking about it. If it's a book I've never heard of or a book that's in a genre I tend to not read as much, I will read the synopsis, because otherwise if I just buy that book without reading the synopsis and not having anyone talk about it before, I tend to not actually pick that book up in the end and I end up wasting my money. So yeah, if I don't know the book and no one's recommended it to me, I will read the synopsis. If someone's recommended it to me or I've got it through hype, then I tend to not read the synopsis. Question number 4 is, do you have any author by authors? So books that you will buy without knowing anything about it just because a certain author has written it. I have a couple of these. Cassandra Clare, 100%. John Green I tend to pick up just because he's John Green. Same with Sarah J Maas, because she had so much hype, I bought her books up just because it was her, and then I just buy the books because it has her name written on it. Other than that, I don't think there is any other authors that I just pick up just because it's them. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child I picked up purely because it was a Harry Potter screenplay, but we weren't even talking about how much of a mess that was. But yeah, I think that's it. Other than that, I don't really tend to buy. Oh, Tahara Mafi. If I see one of her books, which technically is just Shatter Me series and Furthermore, I think. If it's just her books, I will pick it up. Other than that, I don't really have anyone that I just pick up and read. I think the only other series I would just pick up just because it's one of those books just by that person is Helen Fielding, or the woman that writes Bridget Jones. If it's a Bridget Jones book, or if I see a book by her that I've not read before, I'll probably pick it up just because I find her funny, and she's pretty much the only adult author I read. Question number 5 is, are you more likely to pick up certain books they include certain elements or themes such as LGBTQ plus themes, mental health themes, etc.? If I find a book that's centered around mental health, or the character has a mental health issue, I tend to pick that book up. As you guys probably know, I am a massive advocate for mental health. I try and raise money for it. I raised money for it by doing Dry January last year. I have mental health issues myself, so it's a really, really important cause for me. So anything that's mental health related, I will pick it up. I don't read a lot of LGBTQ plus books, which I am trying to actually expand at the moment. I've kind of just stuck with the same YA books my whole life. So I've recently, and especially since starting BookTube, trying to like expand out of that. That and anything that's psychology related. And before you say it, psychology is not just about mental health. A lot of people, when I say that, they're like, oh, so mental health is psychology. Mental health is a tiny part of psychology. Anything that's psychology related, I'll pick that up. Anything that has psychology themes, I'll pick that up. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, like, I'm not a person, like, if it's a fairy book, I won't pick it up just because it's fairy or things like that. It's pretty much just mental health and psychology. If they has those themes, I will definitely pick that book up, whether I've heard about it or not. Question number 6 is, do you ever read a book that has generally negative reviews just to form your own opinion of it? I'm not gonna lie, you've probably guessed this, I go by hype and by people's recommendations. If I tend to see something has negative reviews, I don't really pick it up, or if I do, I will pick it up as a library book, because I'm not going to spend money on something a lot of people don't like, in case I don't like it. As well as that, I don't actually look at reviews of books that often when I'm buying them. If it's a book, like I've said before, like if it's a book I don't know, I'll read the synopsis and I'll just go off if I like the synopsis. If not, I don't tend to look at people's reviews. I don't know why, I've just never been a person that does that. Probably should, because it probably save me reading a lot of books that I don't like, but I've just never been that type of person. Question 7 is, do you ever buy a book just because another booktuber or book blogger has reviewed or talked about it? I do and I don't. Sarah J Maas, I did that. I bought Sarah J Maas just because everyone's talking about it. I bought Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo just because everyone's talking about it, and also Sisters Approximately. The book club is reading it for the month of June. But I had it on my wish list for a while. I just haven't bought it yet, but that prompted me to buy it. Also Leigh Bardugo's, I think it's Shadow and Bone trilogy, I bought just because everyone talks about Leigh Bardugo. What else? I bought Alice in Wonderland for the first time a few years ago. Actually, no, last year in a charity shop, purely because Hayley over in Hayley and Bookland loves Alice in Wonderland so much, and she's always talking about it. So I saw it and I brought it purely because she always talks about it, and she's been like one of the first booktubers I ever read. But I'd say like Hayley and Bookland and Books and Lala are the two people that I would usually buy books of if they speak about it. Yeah, I think those two booktubers. The last question is there anyone else whose book recommendations you will generally always trust? My friend Mooney, she can read like 3-4 books in a day. I tend to go by her recommendations, so if she reads a lot of books, or if she reads something she's like 5 out of 5 stars, I absolutely loved it, I tend to put it on my want to read list on Goodreads. Also a couple of my other friends back home, like my friend Chaya, for example, she also was one of the people that was like, you need to read Sarah J Maas, like read Sarah J Maas's books. And then I think that's pretty much it. Not a lot of my friends outside of booktube actually read. If they did, I would go by them 100%. Both my aunties read. They recommend me books a lot, as well as both my sisters. So I go by family a lot sometimes as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the end of the questions for this tag. The only thing left is to tag some people to do it. So I'm going to be tagging 4 people to do it. I'm going to be tagging Emily over at Emily Kathleen Reads. I'm also going to be tagging Chloe over at Chloe Reads Books. I'm going to be tagging Amy Myers to do this. And finally, I'm going to be tagging Andie over at Reading Probably. So you guys have fun with this tag, and I can't wait to see your thoughts on it. Also, if you want to do this video and you haven't been tagged to do it, consider yourself tagged. So yeah, that's this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share, and I will see you guys soon with a new video.